we go. Okay.
It's interesting the color of shirts we wore.
Oh, I know. That wasn't planned.
I think that makes the point.
Yeah, I didn't plan that. Hello, everybody. Facebook world, friends and family, and amazing people. We're coming onto the internet world Monday night, November 4th, 9:30 p.m. So happy to hop on. You know that's my favorite word. I've used it quite often on these videos to see if we can just possibly encourage someone, help someone, give someone some neat insight about the stuff that is going on in our world right now. I'm Jennifer. That's my husband, Lorenzo. We're the mom and dad of 13, and they range in age from 22 to 6 months. Our little baby, our 6-month-old today, started crawling. Cannot believe that. 6 months it's kind of early, it feels like, for her to crawl around. In fact, she pulled up too. Forgot to tell you that. Wow. So anyway, without delay, our topic that we wanted to get to share with you tonight is kind of a little bit of a heavy hitter, but we're hoping it can really be neat and encouraging for you. It's basically the title of my blog right now, justfamilything.com. It'll be published later tonight, but when I said on my little meme for the evening, black, white, and brown, it really didn't give you a lot of indication what we were going to be talking about. The truth is that when you do that little color background thing for Facebook, you know, they only give you so many words and so much space. So anyway, it got to be suspenseful unintentionally. So anyway, that is our topic for tonight for about 30 minutes. So to get to the story, glad you're here. Hope you enjoy. Throw us a comment or two if you have one. Basically, we were going to tell a little bit about our story and how we got together. We've been married 23 years, and we never would have imagined we would be telling it on a thing called Facebook 23 years later. There was no such thing for all of you people out there who are younger than us. And so to summarize how we got started, we were... I was about to graduate from college, and Lorenzo was about 3 years ahead of me, so he had already graduated. And we basically, this is 1995. We had some rough roads. We had a lot of different things happen. And just cutting to the chase, and pardon the pun, but keeping the white elephant out of the room, it all boiled down to how we look. His skin and my skin and how we looked. And in our last video, we just talked about, hey, Ivan, good to see you. Thank you for hopping on here tonight. So cool. We just talked about our friends. One of them is from Niger, and one of them is from Germany. And I was mentioning in the previous video, when you talk about how a human being's skin looks versus the culture and the preferences, for lack of a better word, that they may have. Our friends that are married, that one's from Niger and one's from Germany, they have a million different things, more, I guess you could call diametrically opposed to each other. Hey, Rebecca, it is so awesome to see you on here. Yay! It's amazing. They are so different. They are 100 times more different than we are, but yet they kind of resemble us in skin color. Okay, and so all that to say, I guess we're kind of making a little bit of a social statement, and we're sharing our story, and we're making it a Jesus thing, because that's what it boils down to, and that's what's most important. Okay?
Well, it's one of those things that we've been asked over the years, just to talk about, because it is what it is.
Yeah, and so as far as the initial story, that's a little bit of the synopsis. And so that was some of the circumstances when we got married. This was in 1995. And so go back, into the social atmosphere then. And also, I mentioned earlier, truthfully, it's not that much different. Solomon says this in Ecclesiastes. There's nothing new under the sun. Ivan, I know you do know so well. And tell your beautiful wife hello from us. Nothing is new under the sun. This stuff has been around. In fact, the man we love so much that helped marry us, he said, you know what, guys? This ain't no new thing. This is not a new thing, okay? There's always been humans. There's always been trouble. There's always been baloney, and there's always been people acting, with evil intent. So, relax, because the key is, are you following what God wants you to do? Are you in a safe spot because you're following him? Tiffany, thank you. That is so sweet. I just saw you 3 days ago. How cool to see you on here now. That is what really matters. That's what's so important. And if you want to, you could call this, my and Lorenzo's little basket of troubles, okay? Everybody has one. My mom taught me that. Everybody has their own basket of troubles. And you know what? We're owning our basket of troubles. Oh, John and Kay, thank you so much. That is super sweet. Nobody's going to get to be exempt from their basket of troubles. And our basket of troubles, we still have it. We still own it. We've been working through it with our 13 children. They have faced tough things already. Natalie, so good to see you. Love and miss you too. We've had tough things. We've had things that just stink, things that hurt. Again, I get a lot more detailed in my blog. You'll be able to read some of that. But suffice it to say, nobody's going to be exempt from that. But you know what? We teach our kids, and we've tried to encourage each other over these past 23 years. You know what? This is one of Lorenzo's famous sayings. I think he made it up himself. If you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly. Okay? You're going to have your own basket of troubles. Just, go after it. Own it. Don't have a glass chin about it. Even laugh about it. We got to where we've laughed about, someone feeling uncomfortable, possibly about how we looked, or, having some opinion, possibly about us having our children. Truthfully, we've really had more people think we're crazy for having 13.
Yeah, we've had more. Yeah. Well, they just start pouring out of the van.
Yeah. And maybe God did that on purpose,
funny.
just to kind of, we intentionally had 13 kids. I don't mean that, but still, he's blessing us with them. And, maybe that was part of our story that would help us see, what is crazy, and we can ask that in our world today, right now, what is crazy? First Peter says we're supposed to be peculiar. We're a royal priesthood, a holy nation. Are we acting peculiar? Haley, thank you so much. So, we're supposed to be weird. We're supposed to go upstream, right? So anyway, I did not intend on that part.
You're preaching
but
now, girl.
Anyway, you guys totally encouraged me so much.
Oh,
Cindy,
wow.
Thank you a million. So on to the story. Okay. So we watched Losing Isaiah. So we're dating ourselves with this, okay? If you were born in the 70s, you had access to Losing Isaiah. If you didn't, go look it up, okay?
Was it VHS?
Yes, of course. It was VHS. It was a date night, and it was crazy because I was 6 months pregnant, and it's our first baby. So I'm a little, emotional, hormonal. I'm 22 years old, okay? I have no idea what I'm doing. And neither do you. Neither one of us know what we're doing.
Wow.
Except we love each other and we're having a new baby and we're so excited, right? So go check out Losing Isaiah. The synopsis of that movie is basically that a woman in a NICU unit happens to help a little baby survive. He was abandoned by a mother. He had no family. No one showed up to help him or inquire about him. She fell in love with him. She and her husband decided they wanted to adopt him. She was Caucasian. The little baby was African American. And the story follows what happened to them. Samuel Jackson just nails his role as a dissenting opinion who just detests the idea of them adopting this little baby. Halle Berry's in the movie. Really some heavy hitters there. So it's powerful, but oh man, it broke my heart that night. This little 22-year-old girl with this big 6-month pregnant tummy. I was devastated. I was weeping watching this movie. Do you remember what I said? Can you remember?
This can't ever happen to my baby.
This is not going to happen. This is not going to happen to my baby.
Don't tell them the movie.
I can't tell you the movie. I don't want to spoil the movie, but it just rocked both of us, and especially me as the new mama, getting ready to have this little person. And thankfully, God did a cool thing for us. That night, that very night, we went to bed. I had the most distinct dream I have ever had in my entire life since I'm 45, okay? And it was so prolific, exactly, crystal clear. And basically, the dream was, now we knew nothing about our new baby. We had not gotten an ultrasound. We weren't going to find out the gender. The dream was that I had a little girl come up to me in our home, and this little girl said, Mommy, somebody said to me that my daddy is black. And in the dream, I say very calmly, well, honey, okay, Mama wants you to go get your box of crayons. And so in the dream, she goes and gets her box of crayons. And I get out the black crayon and I say, do you think this crayon really matches Daddy? And she says, no. And I say, okay, well, do you think this crayon, the white crayon, actually matches Mommy? And she said, no, not really. And in the dream, I look at her and say, honey, that is because God made everybody brown. Everybody's just a different shade of brown. And the dream ended. Okay? That was a real event. I do not embellish. That is exactly how it happened. I can still remember it as if it was yesterday. When that happened, that dream happened, of course, I told Zoe everything about it. We were so excited because, you know, some of the things we'd gone through up to that point, we're newly married, we're about to have our first baby. Some of the things that had happened always tended to revolve around your children. What about your children? Are they going to be okay? What's going to happen? And of course, we weren't thinking, well, you know, we really don't care. No, we weren't thinking that. We were thinking, well, of course we want our children to be okay. But of course, we also think we're supposed to marry each other and we love each other and God must have a plan because, you know, that's where we are. This is where we have peace. We feel like this is obedience. And so all of that said, hey, Heather from Ohio, I'm so happy you're here. So basically from that point on, that started changing our vernacular about the words black and white to describe people. Okay? Yes, we sound like an idealist, but we have been at this a little bit. We've had a little bit of practice. We really don't think it's being idealist to agree with the truth instead of the facts. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. Yes, dreams are very powerful. And I might say, if we were talking marriage stuff, I'm not the dreamer of this couple. I am not. Yes, Heather, you can go back and catch all of it. I am not the dreamer. I am the nuts and bolts facts ma'am person. This is the dreamer. This is the visionary. I have a new idea every single minute of the day. Okay.
That is me.
Oh, Morgan, that's cool. Thank you so much. Yes, she is a great sister. So anyway, all that to say, we're like, what? Yeah, I mean, why are we saying black and white? Who made that up? Now, of course, we know all kinds of names have been called atrociously, incorrectly to all kinds of people groups. We can go all the way back. We can go to what's happened with Jewish people. We can go back to the Romans and how they treated Christians. You can go back to, you can go all the way back to Egypt. Hey, Jan. Oh, yes, yeah, that is so neat. Yes, I was so excited to see him in there. Yeah, absolutely. Go back to every culture of the world. They've enslaved people wrongly. They've treated them horrifically. Every people group in the world has been guilty. Every people group now, we're still guilty. We're still guilty of something that's ugly, that's unloving, that's unkind. Okay, if we're looking at big picture, so we don't think it's being idealist. We think, you know what, love you too, Jan, how do we teach our kids the truth, okay? The truth trumps the facts. That's a big thing that we teach our kids. The truth is bigger than the facts, guys. The facts are, okay, well, you know, we don't have any hope and it looks terrible and it's all negative and what are we going to do? Oh my goodness, you know, like Chicken Little. But the truth is that we have God, we have Jesus, we have victory. There's hope. There's a reason that we're here. We have a mission. We have a reason to be here. So all that to say, we
Tell me what
watched this
happened
movie.
5 years later.
Yes, we watched this movie and we got this vision. This is what we're going to. Hey, Shanna. Yes, thank you for saying that. We really got this vision for this is what we need to tell our kids. We all are some shade of brown. We were so excited about that. We really felt like we'd been given a gift. And this is the freako part of this, okay, guys? This is straight up, again, from the nuts and bolts person, okay? The person that doesn't dream. I don't think I've had a dream like that, have I, since we first got married? Yeah, and I'm 45 now. So this is what happened 5 years later. Little Hannah, who ended up being that baby girl that I dreamt about before I knew she was a baby girl. She came up to me one day in our garage. We had our laundry out in the garage, and she came up to me. This is straight up exactly what she said.
Was she 5?
She was around 5, just like the dream. And she said, Mommy, somebody told me. I don't think it actually was about you. I think that was a variation to the dream. She was talking about somebody said somebody is black. Why did they say that, Mommy? Why did they use that word? Because, of course, we hadn't been using that word. And I said, well, honey, actually, I need you to go get your box of crayons. And so she went and got her box of crayons. And just as I mentioned in the dream, I told her exactly what happened in the dream. It was incredibly empowering. I thought it was going to, weep before I got through the words because it was happening just like I had dreamed it. But I said, Hannah, does a black crayon match your daddy? And she said, no, of course not. And does the white crayon match Mommy? No. Honey, that's because God made everybody brown. We're all some shade of brown. Mommy's kind of really super light brown and Daddy's darker brown. And look at you. By that time, she had Nathaniel and Micah and Caleb. She could see that they were a different shade of brown. All of them had variation of shades of their skin, and they still do, all 13 of them. We have 5 of our children that have blue or green eyes out of all of them. We have all these heritages. Lorenzo has Native American, has Caucasian. I have Native American. So anyway, all that to say, this dream really rocked our world. It was really God's answer for us. And so getting past that, of course, Hannah now is 22 years old. We've lived a lot of life since then. Some of the things that were really, really tough when we started, they've shifted, they've changed. Again, those facts are like shifting sand, but the truth is like, hi babe, one of our crew. The truth is like that solid bedrock of Christ. It doesn't shift. It holds true. It holds fast. It's immovable. It cannot be moved. So with some of these facts we've seen coming through the past 23 years, some things just, truly heartbreaking, some things so difficult. We've learned how to laugh at those things. We've cried about them. We've cried together. We've actually had times where we've misunderstood each other and what the other might be feeling when it comes to this issue. We've walked through things with our kids, especially our older kids right now, things that they face, things that have been said, and all of that to say, summarizing how our story happened. At this point, we're nearing 25 years of marriage, and you know what we could say at this point, and Lorenzo needs to take over, but what I can say, I'll speak for myself at this point, is you know what? Everybody has something that is their thing that may be hard. And on the flip side of that coin, it's probably the thing that God's working through. In fact, Lorenzo talked about this a little bit on Sunday. Our little First Baptist Church is actually on Facebook, by the way. If you want to hear him preach, it's Custer City FBC. You can find it on Facebook. Anyway, he talked about that Sunday morning. Why are there things that we go through that God already knows the answer? Why? Well, we really can't answer those questions when it comes to the black, white, and brown question. We just know we've been walking through it and we've benefited from it. And we have these people, we have this heritage and these 13 amazing people, and watching their strength and the different ages and how they respond. Yeah, exactly right, Shannon. There's no way we could be that old. They have taught us, some of the things they've seen, how they've responded to certain situations. What it has all boiled down to for me is, and I know that Zoe would agree and can hop on too, it matters what's on the inside. It matters what you know about who you are. In fact, one of the things that we say and teach our kids, also from a kind of a different tough thing that we went through several years ago, God loves me for who I am, not for what I do or how I look. All I'm doing, all of the things that are these outward circumstances, they're always growing to reflect who I am, but who I am is what changes things. It's what matters first. It's what is the most powerful. It's why we're here. Okay? So, anyway, that's the story of what happened when we were first married, tough stuff when we first married 23 years ago. And what's really hilarious about that, in a way, is no social media, no cell phones, no personal computers in our homes. Okay? So many different things that have evolved from that moment that now we can talk about this and someone from halfway across the world can watch it. It's nuts and crazy. So from that point, we watched this movie, Losing Isaiah. Please check it out if you have a chance. Hi, Shannon Gammon. So good to see you on here. From there, that just gave us this new language. You know what? We're all brown. We should all be brown by now when it comes to this. We should all be brown. If he needs my heart and I move and go to heaven, I bet he's going to take it. Yep, and I bet it's going to work. You know what I'm saying? One of our kids, if they need one of our kidneys or we need to share blood or whatever, no deal, right? It's no-brainer. It's going to work. So, anyway, your brain's turning. So what are you thinking?
I'm just amazed at how passionate you still are about.
Great to see you, Brian.
I just wanted to say one thing. What I guess my takeaway from all of this, because you were the one who had the dream. And as I look now at all the little people that have come and all the friends, the struggles, the blessing so far outweighs. And as Jenny already said, everyone has their basket of troubles, test, the word test and temptation in the Bible. It just depends on what you're looking at. But it's funny, a test can be something that is going to bring about something that you don't see, something that you don't know about yourself.
Love you too, Jessica.
And it can feel like a temptation. It can feel like, God, you're putting me in a place that you're trying to kill me here. You're trying to destroy me. That's the beauty of trusting God. We're not advocating that anybody just runs out and just does something just because we did it. That's not what we're saying at all.
No, it's definitely our story.
But what we're saying is, in your story, be all there and be big enough just to own the fact that you don't know why, but for whatever reason, there is a God and He's moving you in a direction. Follow Him, and the trouble will be worth the trouble. The journey it'll just be a beautiful thing. We look up now and we've got our second grandbaby coming, and it's just amazing, the stuff, the places that we've lived, the people that we didn't know, the lives that have been impacted. Our lives have been impacted by people that it wouldn't have happened outside of that one step.
That one step.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes me think about something that our pastor, I think he referred to this possibly in our wedding 23 years ago, but you have the ark, you have Noah's Ark and the story all around that event. The cool thing about that story is that ark, yes, that's true, Brian, the ark represented a safe place, and the people that were residing in that ark, away from the trouble, were the ones who stepped forward, and the ones who said yes, and the ones who said, I believe, the ones who said, I am going somewhere, I cannot see the way, but I trust. And when they walked into that boat, God shut the door. They did not have to do every part of it. He did the super and they did the natural.
That's exactly right.
And that's a phrase that Lorenzo and I have used this whole time.
Perfect.
And let me say this. When you're doing the natural, you do a lot of screwing up, and I'm just being honest. There's not a parent. There is not a love you too, Connie. There's not a husband and wife out there. There's not a parent out there that has a great marriage or has kids they like to be around without some kind of great test. It doesn't happen. And if you're one of those people that you've maybe had to start over, you've had a redo, same thing. It doesn't matter. Wherever you are, you can do it. You have to keep going. You have to keep going, because the fruit happens from the friction of those tough things all around us.
You're right, Connie.
The fruit comes from having to build the muscle and to have the resistance, the carbon being worked off of the diamonds, the friction and the tough stuff and the hard stuff, that's building what we really, really are after and why we're here, because we don't get to be here very long. If we're here 120 years, it's a breath. It's just a moment of time. So we've got to make it count. We've got to write letters to people that we'll never see, through the ones that we love and through the mistakes we make. One of the things I say on pretty much everything I've put on social media, with trepidation, guys, it kind of makes me shake in my boots, because I just don't want to mess up. I just don't want to, it's tough. It's been a big decision just to hop on here. But we just really, we think that, you know what, God, can you use this? Just use it. Use our practice, not our perfection, because it's not there. There's not practice. There's not perfection. There's only practice. Lots of practice. There's lots of fails, lots of no-goes, and getting back up again. Okay? So I'm not a doctor. Lots of great doctors. He's a preacher, but we're not playing anybody professional or important on TV. We're just mom and dad here. Just a mom, just a dad, just a wife, just a husband, just doing our best. Put a foot forward in front of the next one. And all that to say, we hope that some of it could bless you guys. And every single one of your names have been popping up as we've been talking, and you all have totally made our night. You have totally given us a present that you just hopped on here. We know every one of you, and it's so awesome.
Love you, Shannon.
So exciting.
You mean the world to us.
Thank you so much.
All of our friends.
So, anyway.
Please check out Jen's blog. She'll have it up later on tonight.
Yes, the full blog will be up tonight with
what's
some pictures.
What's the name of it? Black, brown, and beige?
The story.
Mommy looks like coffee, Dad looks like cream. Well, whatever.
The blog is actually called Black, White, and Brown, Our Story and a Box of Crayons, okay? So you can see that. Thank you, Julianne and Shanna. The blog is just a familything.com. That's where you can find us. And, of course, this is my page on Facebook. Heather, thank you so much. Anyway, you're watching our special edition of Momma Monday on Monday nights at 9:30 p.m. Sheila, thank you so much. Oklahoma Central Time. And we will be back here for Momma Monday next Monday. I don't know exactly what we're going to be talking about. I think it may be a bit about my thyroid story. Okay, so we'll give a little heads up about that. That's got a lot of cool stories and a lot of miracles and a lot of gut-wrenching natural stuff that hasn't been that fun, but getting on the other side of it. So all that to say, blessings to all of you guys. Hope you enjoyed tonight. We'll look forward to next Monday. And love and hugs to each one of you. Truly, so happy you were here. And we'll see you next time, same place, next Monday. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.